Chris Broussard and I are going to disagree on everything today. I mean, you just might as well come on in. Get ready, because you and I are just not going to agree on stuff. So listen, the NBA, we have a history in the NBA. Michael Jordan lost, and all of a sudden, after all these losses, you build up a medal, a body armor, and then he finally conquered the Pistons. And these great Detroit teams couldn't beat the Celtics, and LeBron couldn't beat the Celtics. Right. Generally, this league is a baby step league. And so I think there's a lot of people now, this narrative's building. Milwaukee's going to beat Golden State. And I just want to remind everybody, they were a team that last year could not win a road game in the Eastern Conference playoffs. And we think they're going to go because they're beating Toronto that doesn't have a dependable second score, and they're going to walk in and beat this dynasty. I'm watching Toronto-Milwaukee yesterday, Chris, and I'm like, these look like nice runner-up teams. That's what they look like to me.
To your point, you heard Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson both say Golden State is the prohibitive underdog against Milwaukee.
Oh, come on.
Right. I'm with you. Look, if Kevin Durant's healthy, I'm definitely picking Golden State without hesitation. I'd say 90-95% chance they win. If KD is not healthy, I'm still picking Golden State. It's a little closer. Look, Milwaukee's length, their depth, their shooting ability, their defensive ability, they present some matchup problems for Golden State. However, they're slow. So I think defensively they're going to have trouble chasing around the Warriors.
So do I.
Especially if they play the way they have been playing without KD.
And how much length can they have on the floor if the Warriors go small?
Exactly. And so that's a serious question. The experience, the lack of experience, on that stage is an issue. So I would go with Golden State. And look, in the East, they faced one-man shows. Detroit had Blake Griffin. Kawhi turned the Celtics into a one-man show. And now Toronto, you got Kawhi Leonard. They're not, what they're viewing offensively it's like addition and subtraction compared to calculus with what they'll face with Golden State.
Yeah, I think it's a different ballgame. How surprised are you just how effective they've been, Golden State? I got to be honest with you. They are, they're like a champion boxer. They kind of win the end of the round, the end of the quarter, the end of the game. They play decoy. They have not lost an ounce of their confidence.
I'm with you on what you just said about, because a lot of people are saying, well, Portland is winning these games and then they're falling apart at the end. No. Golden State is pacing itself. They know, look, stay close. Even when they're down 13, 17, just stay in there. And then when we need to, we'll turn it on and win the series. They have to kind of pace themselves a little more without Kevin Durant. As far as surprise, if you were asking me how surprised I am how they're playing without KD, I'm not surprised. When he went out the first year, remember he missed like the last 20 games or something like that in the first year he was there, last 13 or something, and they went on just like this. At the end of the regular season, they did the same thing, and Steph, who had been really good, but not the old Steph in KD's first year, he all of a sudden gets back to playing the old Steph way. So people are wondering, are they better without KD? The thing is this, they don't have to be better without KD. They just have to be better than everybody else without KD. If they're the best team in the world without KD, that diminishes his stature. Doesn't mean he's not a great player. Doesn't mean he's not the best player in the world, perhaps. But people already look at those two rings. I've talked to players in the league who said, look, there's nobody that denies how great KD is, how great of a player he is. But dudes do look at the rings like, you went to the best team in the league and got those rings. We've heard Clyde Frazier. We heard his own teammate, Draymond, we don't need you, leave. We heard his general manager, Bob Myers, at the parade last year. KD hadn't been here as long as Steph and hadn't been here from the beginning. But here's the thing, Colin. All that KD was hearing, he could look back, tell himself, but hold up. I was the 2-time finals MVP.
Right.
People saying I'm the best player in the world now. All my teammates are saying we need KD. He's our best player. You could rationalize to yourself in that internal debate. Nah, these critics don't know what they're talking about. But now it's right in front of your face. You're watching with your own eyes. Oh, my gosh. They do look better without me. Like, I mean, he's a smart basketball player. He sees the ball movement. He knows they're winning now by 10 points a game, whereas with him, they were winning by 4 points a game in the playoffs. And theoretically, he was playing in easier playoff games because it was a first and second round. They're in the later rounds winning by double digits without you. And so for KD, this has to be tough for him. He's a human being, so it has to be tough for him. And it's why he's got to leave, especially if they win it without him.
You know what I keep thinking about? Whenever I watch Golden State win, I keep thinking about Houston. Houston thinks they're this close, and they're sitting there and they're like, they're going to sweep Portland without KD, without Boogie. Iggy's not healthy. Like, you know how sometimes you think you're close in sports, and then we're right up next to Alabama, and we're right up next to the Patriots. And you know how many teams, the Houston Texans a couple years ago, man, we're just this close. Then they go up there, and it's like, nah, like J.J. Watt is completely irrelevant against the Patriots because Brady gets rid of the ball so fast. Houston has to be watching this, and I love Daryl Morey, but they're shooting fewer threes.
Right.
They don't have their guys. I think it shows the dexterity, how nimble, how smart.
You know what they're showing, Colin, for everyone out there in the basketball world? That basketball is about more than an accumulation of talent. Okay? You need a certain degree of talent.
Right.
But if you've got talent, teamwork, chemistry, trust, finding the perfect system for your talent, your players, that's more important. Go back to 2014 when San Antonio blew out Miami by I think a record margin in the finals with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. I could argue Miami had more talent. Tim Duncan was a shell of himself. Manu and Tony Parker were at the end of their primes, if that. They may have been just out of their primes. And Kawhi Leonard was a baby. And they ran circles around Miami because they played team basketball. They passed the ball. They shared. Now, we're so used to ISO basketball that we've forgotten that, and Golden State shows us that again. Look at Team USA in 2004. Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, LeBron, Wade, Carmelo, Richard Jefferson, Stephon Marbury, and they getting beaten by Puerto Rico and all these other teams in Europe because basketball is still a team game. And Golden State is showing everybody that.
Magic Johnson went on ESPN today, and he said some things. And the probably the most noteworthy thing, Magic's not the kind of guy that's going to create constant controversy. If you watch his Twitter feed, he's not a wildly crazy out there guy. His Twitter feeds become kind of everybody kind of laughs about it because
Steph can shoot.
It's kind of generic. And Magic's a good guy, and he's not trying to bury people. I didn't think he'd go on TV today and bury Lonzo and bury LeBron and Jeannie but he went after Rob Pelinka, who looks like Rob Lowe, and he basically said people around the Laker front office were telling me Rob was saying things, and I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough, so I started getting calls from my friends saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball. And let's start Chris Broussard with that. Were you surprised he went directly after Rob Pelinka, who now, according to Joy's story this morning, runs the Lakers?
Yeah, well, this is what we were hearing. All the scuttlebutt around the league was that he had issues with Pelinka. I mean, for months you've been hearing that he was just going up to people like, knowing Magic's not in office. Hey, where's Magic? You see Magic? Just to highlight the fact that he's not there, never around. So you were hearing all these things. I give Magic props for coming out publicly and confirming it and just getting things out in the open because you stop all the speculation when you're open and honest. And obviously the Lakers haven't said a word about anything else. Here's the problem, though. I thought Magic was supposed to be helping the Lakers recruit. Like, players are more sophisticated nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Players are looking at front offices and saying, I'm telling you, and I do think the Knicks still get players. They're going to get players this summer. But players are looking at James Dolan and saying, yeah, I like Scott Perry, the GM, and Steve Mills is there, and Fizdale, but They're looking at the hierarchy and saying, can I trust that organization? And with the players doing it, you know who else is doing it? Their agents. Agents are telling the players, giving them the rundown of each situation. And a lot of these agents had issues with Rob Pelinka, in addition to other people in the league. And so now Magic comes out and gives even more ammunition.
Confirms.
Right. So
if a guy would badmouth Magic, who else would he badmouth?
Yeah, it's another obstacle the Lakers may have to overcome.
You know what I feel like, and I respect Magic for this. Magic's got a brand, and Magic's brand is he's a helper. He was a passer as a player. He's a passer as a person. He's human LinkedIn. He's always trying to elevate. And Magic is offended if you come to Los Angeles, even if you're a Clipper or a Dodger, and you don't come to him and say, hey, man,
right,
can I do some business in this town? Like, Magic loves elevating people. He really does.
He's one of the greatest people you'll ever meet.
I've been in a room 4 or 5 times with Magic. He lights it up. I mean, he just takes the oxygen out of the room. Charles Barkley has that ability, right? Whereas Shaq's bigger and doesn't have quite that ability. Kobe didn't have that ability. So I think what Magic's doing here, and I'm okay with it. Magic's saying, hey, I'm going to protect my brand. You're making me look incompetent.
Right.
I'm a businessman here. You're not going to make me look like I'm a fool.
That's a great point, because watching that interview did make me say, you know what? Magic was doing the right thing. He had told Jeannie, you understand, I got a lot of other things going on. Don't expect me to be in the office all the time. Okay, so you don't take that away from him. And then Tim Harris is helping make basketball decisions. You're right. I came away thinking, you know what? Magic wasn't the problem there. You know, they got a lot of other issues, as we've seen. And even now, they're not going to hire a replacement for Magic. That's fine. It was clear Rob Pelinka was going to head your basketball operations. But can you be professional and give them the proper titles? Make Pelinka the president, the executive vice president, basketball operations, whatever you want to call it, and make Kurt Rambis the general manager or something number 2. Right now, you have no titles for these. Kurt Rambis is a special advisor. What does that mean? Linda Rambis is the special projects coordinator or something like that. It makes it look like you don't understand the importance of infrastructure and structure, and that is something that free agents are going to look like. Believe me, one of the selling points for the Clippers in free agency is the structure of their front office and how well it's run, and that is going to hurt the Lakers if they don't get this thing straightened out.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.